Welcome back. Today, we'll look at 4 rare UK 20p coins that could be worth a lot of money, some even thousands of dollars. These coins have cool stories and mistakes that make them special. Stay with us and let's find out more. Our first rare coin is the 1982 UK 20 pence, and believe it or not, it could be worth up to $2,500. Let's talk about why this coin is so special. The 20 pence coin was first introduced in the UK in 1982. That's right, before that, there were no 20p coins at all. So, the 1982 version is extra important because it's the very first one ever made by the Royal Mint. First edition coins are always interesting to collectors because they mark the beginning of a new chapter in coin history. Now, here's the twist that most people don't know. Some of the early 1982 coins had small mistakes or errors when they were made. These are called minting errors. Sometimes the coin might be a little off-center, or the design might not be perfectly clear, or the edge writing could be faint or missing. When that happens, it actually makes the coin more valuable because these kinds of errors are very rare. Also, even though the coin was released for general use, not many were kept in perfect condition. Most people just used them in shops and forgot about them. So today, finding a 1982 20 pence coin in brilliant, untouched condition is really hard. That's another reason why it's worth so much now. Collectors are always looking for coins that are part of the first batch, especially if they're still shiny and scratch-free after all these years. Another interesting thing about this coin is its design. On the front, or what we call the obverse, it shows Queen Elizabeth II. The portrait was created by artist Arnold Machin, and it was used on many UK coins during that time. On the back, or the reverse, there's a royal crown Tudor rose. It's a very elegant design and one of the most beautiful floral symbols used on British coins. The Tudor rose has a long history in the UK, representing unity and tradition. So why is this coin worth up to $2,500? It's all about a mix of things. First, it's a first edition. Second, it might have rare minting errors. And third, if it's in excellent condition, it becomes even more desirable. Coins like this are not just money anymore, they're pieces of history. People are willing to pay a lot to own something so unique. If you happen to find one of these coins in your old collection, or even tucked away in a drawer or piggy bank, take a close look. You never know what you might have. That plain little 20 pence might actually be your lucky jackpot, just waiting to be discovered. Now let's move on to the second coin on our list, the 1983 UK 20 pence coin, which is worth around $1,000. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary coin, but there's more to it than meets the eye. This one is all about limited release and where it came from. In 1983, the Royal Mint didn't release many 20p coins into everyday circulation. Instead, most of these coins were specially made for collector's sets. These are also known as proof sets or mint sets. They were sold to coin collectors and came in neat little display cases, sealed and protected from damage. They were never meant to be used as regular money in shops or vending machines. That's what makes them special. So, if you find a 1983 20p coin that looks shiny, clean, and almost untouched, there's a good chance it came from one of those sets. And that's where the value lies. Because these coins were not made in large numbers and were not part of daily use, it's very rare to find one, especially outside of a collector's box. If someone removed one from a set years ago and it ended up in someone's change by accident, it's like finding treasure. Just like the 1982 version, this coin features Queen Elizabeth II on the front. The portrait was done by Arnold Machin, showing the Queen wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. It's the same elegant design used on many coins during the 70s and early 80s. On the back, or reverse side, there's the Tudor rose again, a traditional British symbol that gives the coin a classic and royal look. Now, let's talk a bit about coin condition, because that makes a huge difference in value. If the coin has been sitting safely in a proof set, untouched for years, it will have a smooth, mirror-like surface and no scratches. These coins are called proof condition or uncirculated coins, and collectors love them because they look as perfect as the day they were made. On the other hand, if a 1983 coin has been used a lot, it will have scratches and wear, and that lowers its value. What's really amazing is that some 1983 20p coins show special features like sharp details, frosted finishes, and perfect edges, all signs that the coin was made for a collector's set. These are the coins that can sell for $1,000 or more, especially if they've been graded by professionals or kept in their original packaging. So next time you're looking through an old coin collection or helping your parents or grandparents clear out their drawers, keep your eyes open. If you spot a 1983 20p coin in beautiful condition, don't spend it. Get it checked, because you might be holding a rare piece of UK coin history, one that could bring you a surprising amount of money. Now let's take a closer look at the third coin on our list, the 1987 UK 20 pence coin, which can be worth up to $2,200. This one is really interesting because it's not just about being old or shiny, but about how few were made and what makes it stand out from the rest. So, here's what happened. In 1987, the Royal Mint didn't release a huge number of 20p coins into circulation. Most of the coins made that year were created for something called collector sets, also known as mint sets or proof sets. These sets were sold to collectors and coin fans. They usually came in a protective case, and the coins inside were never meant to be spent like regular money. They were made just to be admired, collected, and kept in good condition. That means not many 1987 20p coins made it into everyday use. And the ones that did? They're extremely rare. If you find a 1987 20p coin in your change or at home somewhere, you're very lucky, and you should definitely take a closer look at it. By 1987, there had also been a change in the design of the Queen's portrait on coins. The old design by Arnold Machin, used on earlier 20p coins, was replaced with a new portrait by Raphael Maclauff. In this updated image, Queen Elizabeth II is wearing the George IV state diadem. It's more detailed and gives the coin a slightly different look from the earlier ones. This change in portrait makes the coin even more special, especially to collectors who like to track how designs have changed over time. Now, another thing that can increase the value of a 1987 20p coin is something called a minting error. These are small mistakes that happen during the coin-making process. Sometimes the coin might be slightly off-center, or the details might be a little blurred. In very rare cases, a coin could even be struck on the wrong type of metal. These errors are not common, and when they do appear, collectors are willing to pay a lot more for them, especially if the coin is also in great condition. What makes the 1987 coin stand out is the combination of all these things: limited numbers made, most being part of collector sets, the updated portrait of the Queen, and the possibility of rare minting mistakes. If you happen to have a 1987 20p coin that's in brilliant or proof condition, or one with a known error, then it could be worth up to $2,200. It's always worth checking the small details, like how well the coin is struck, if the lettering is sharp, or if there are any unusual marks. And of course, the better the condition, the higher the value. Even coins that look perfect to the eye can sometimes be worth much more if graded by a professional. So, if you've got an old coin album, or maybe a box of change saved over the years, take a moment to check for a 1987 20 pence piece. It might not look like much at first glance, but it could be one of the rarest coins in your collection, and one that could bring in quite a bit of money if sold to the right collector. Now we've reached the fourth and final coin on our list, the 1989 UK 20 pence coin, and this one can be worth as much as $1,200. That's right, a simple 20p coin from 1989 could put a nice amount of cash in your pocket. So let's break down what makes this coin so valuable and why collectors are willing to pay big money for it. The first thing to know is that by 1989, the 20p coin had already been in circulation for a few years. It was introduced in 1982, and people were used to seeing it in their change. But the thing about the 1989 version is that it wasn't made in huge numbers. In fact, like a few other coins from that time, most of the 1989 20p coins were not released for regular use. Instead, they were created for collector sets, those special mint packs sold to people who loved keeping coins in perfect condition. That means very few 1989 20p coins ever made it into public hands for everyday use. So if you come across one in your change or old coin collection, it's a rare find. And that's where the value comes from. Rarity always boosts a coin's price. The design of the 1989 20-pence coin is similar to others from the 80s. It features Queen Elizabeth II on the front, with the portrait by Raphael Maklauf. You can recognize this version of the Queen because she's wearing the George IV state diadem, a fancy crown that gives her a regal and strong look. On the back, the reverse side, you'll see the crown Tudor rose again, which is a common and classic symbol used on British coins to represent unity between old royal families. Now let's talk about the condition of the coin. As always, coins that were never touched, scratched, or circulated are worth the most. If your 1989 20p is in proof condition, that means it still looks brand new, shiny, and detailed. You could be looking at a value close to $1,200. Even coins with very little wear and tear can still bring in a few $100s if the buyer is serious about collecting. Some 1989 coins are also known to have minor minting errors, which can raise the value even higher. These might be small things like slightly off-center strikes or weak lettering around the edge. They might not look like a big deal, but to collectors, they're golden. It turns a regular coin into a unique piece that no one else has. So, if you have a bunch of old coins sitting around at home, maybe in a jar, a drawer, or an old coin folder, take a good look. Flip through the 20p coins and see if you spot the year 1989. Check the condition, and if it looks sharp and clean, don't rush to spend it. That small coin could be worth more than you think. And there you have it, for everyday coins from the UK that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Keep your eyes open. Treasure might be hiding in your pocket. So there you have it, for ultra-rare and valuable 20-pence coins from the UK that could be hiding in plain sight. From the very first 1982 coin worth up to $2,500, to the 1983 version made mainly for collector sets, the low-mintage 1987 coin, and the rare 1989 edition that can sell for over $1,000, each one has its own special story, history, and value. The amazing thing is, these coins might look just like any regular 20p you've seen before, but when you understand how rare they are, and how few of them were made or survived in good condition, it's clear why collectors are willing to pay big money for them. So before you toss your spare change into a jar or spend it on something small, take a closer look. Check the dates. Look at the details. You never know, you might have a hidden gem right in your hand. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed learning about these valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let us know if you found any rare coins in your collection. We'd love to hear your story. Happy collecting, and good luck treasure hunting.